ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to our ISKCON Bulla official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. Last chapter we have discussed how the Lord's opulence we have discussed, as discussed in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter and 11th chapter. So in this chapter, Lord Krishna further describes these matters to Uddhava, that how the form of the duties of brahmachari and grihastha orders, etc. After Uddhava inquires from Sri Krishna about the duties of the social and religious orders of the varnasrama society, the Lord replies that in the first age, Satya Yuga, there was only one social order called Hansa. In that age, men were automatically dedicated to pure devotional service from their very birth. From their very birth. And since everyone was perfect in all respects, the age was called Krita Yuga. That is Satya Yuga. And the Supreme Lord was perceived within the mind in the form of the four-legged bull of religion. And there was no formalized process of sacrifice, and the sinless people who were naturally inclined to austerity simply engaged in meditation on the personal form of the Lord. In the following age, that is Treta Yuga, there became manifest from the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead the three Vedas, and from them the three forms of the sacrificial fire. At that time, the system of four varnas and four ashramas, which prescribes material and spiritual duties for the different members of society, appeared from the bodily limbs of the Lord. According to how the social divisions took birth from higher and lower features of the Lord's body, they became endowed with higher and lower qualities. After this description, Lord Krishna explains the nature of persons in each of the four varnas and of those who are outside the limits of the varnas, as it described in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter. He also describes these qualities that pertain to humanity in general. Members of the higher orders are qualified to accept second birth. After receiving the sacred thread initiation, they should go to live in the Gurukula, the home of the spiritual master. With a pacified mind, the student, that is called brahmachari, should observe himself in study of the Vedas. He should keep matted hair and is forbidden to wash his teeth and prepare a nice seat for himself. Talk when bathing or evacuating. Should not talk when bathing or evacuating. Cut his hair and nails. He should not do all these things. At any time, pass semen. He must regularly perform worship at the three junctions of the day, Trisandhya, and must render devotional service to his spiritual master in a spirit free from envy. So in text 27, the Lord says, Acharyang mang vijanyan navamanyeta karichit namatya buddhya shriyata sarvadeva maya guru. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. It is also said, Saksha dharitena samasta sastri. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. The brahmachari must offer to the Guru whatever food and other things he obtains by begging. He accepts for his maintenance whatever remnants of the Lord he is granted. He should render menial service to the spiritual master by massaging his feet and worshipping him, and should avoid all sense gratification and strictly maintain the vow of celibacy within his mind, body and words. He should worship the Supreme Lord in the form of the Super Soul in the way prescribed for him. For brahmacharis, seeing or touching women and conversations or sports in the company of women are absolutely disallowed. Cleanliness and ritual purification by water should be observed by members of all the spiritual orders of society. Everyone is also advised to always remember that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Soul dwelling within the hearts of all. After studying all the different aspects of the Vedas, a Brahmana who has material desires may take permission from his spiritual master and enter family life. Otherwise, if he has no material desire, he may become a Vanaprastha or sannyasi. The proper order of succession should be followed in changing from one spiritual order to the next. One who wishes to enter the household order should accept a wife who is of the same social class, who is not objectionable, and who is somewhat younger in age than he. The obligatory duties of the three classes who are twice born, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, are worship of the Lord, study of the Vedas, and giving charity. The occupational duties of accepting charity, teaching others, and performing sacrifice for others are the privilege of the Brahmanas alone. If a Brahmana considers that his consciousness is contaminated by engaging in these occupations, he may sustain his existence by collecting grains from the fields, which is left over. If he is disturbed by poverty, the Brahmana may out of necessity accept the business of a Kshatriya or Vaishya, but he should never take the occupation of a Shudra. In a similar situation, a Kshatriya may take the occupation of a Vaishya and a Vaishya that of a Shudra. But when the emergency has passed, it is not fitting to continue earning one's living by lower occupation. A Brahmana who is properly fixed in his perpetual personal duty rejects all the insignificant material desires, always serves the Vaishnavas, and is under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The householder should study the Vedas every day and maintain his wards with money honestly earned by his own occupation. As far as possible, he should execute a worship of the Lord by ritual sacrifices. Remaining unattached to material life and fixed in devotion to the Supreme Lord, the householder may finally take the order of Vanaprastha so that he can fully involve himself in the Lord's worship. So it is described in text 53. Putra dharavta bandhunam sangamam pansa sangama anudeham vyantiyate swapna nidra nugajatha. That means the association of children, wife, relatives and friends is just like the brief meeting of a travelers. With each change of the body, one is separated from all such associates, just as one loses the objects and one possesses in a dream when the dream is over. Siddhar Swami in his purport says, Tatrapi asakte adhikatva tesam naswaratam prapanchayati. So much attachment is there. So my Lord says about its temporariness, naswaratam. So if he has a grown son, he may directly take the renounced order of sannyasa, but persons who are excessively lusty after women, who have no proper discrimination and who are extremely attached to wealth and possessions, remain perpetually in anxiety over the welfare of the family members and are doomed to take their next birth in a lower species of life. So these are the descriptions of chapter 17. So thank you very much for listening to our lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share and like our channel and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.